Good evening. This is Mr. Beck with Brooks Crossing News. Tonight, Prickles returns home. Big Papa, heartbroken, watches children play on the patio. A solution to Big Papa's problems. And Lesson 72, relate tenths and decimals. That and a lot more tonight on Brooks Crossing News. Our headline story tonight is a very touching story indeed. In 2013, bushfires in Tasmania caused many livestock to go missing. 7 years later, the owners were quite surprised when they found Prickles wandered her way back into their life. Reports state that she had returned at 5 times the size of a typical sheep. Voluminous indeed, you may say, Prickles is living her best life. Our next story is a heartbreaking story, one that's taken America by storm this week. A recent social media post has leaked a picture of an English bulldog gazing over a balcony. We have the inside scoop. Big Papa, real name Pop, lives in Atlanta, Georgia, and is fed up with the lockdown. This photo of Big Papa looking over the balcony at the children playing below is a heartbreaking, tear-jerking photo that we're sure you all empathize with. Although this is a sad story, we have a solution for Big Papa we think you're gonna like. Big Papa, brokenhearted, is not alone. In fact, dogs brokenhearted by this lockdown have caused Spotify to invent playlists for dogs. That's right, Spotify has made playlists for dogs. Dogs sleeping, dogs home alone, and dogs in general. This comforting news has brought satisfaction to people and dogs across America. And now, we'd like to give you a 10-second blurb of my personal favorite, Dreaming of Bones. And finally, for our 4th graders at Brooks Crossing, Lesson 72 of Encore Mathematics, relate tenths and decimals. Now live over to Mr. Beck in New Jersey.
As Mr. Beck said, today we will be doing Lesson 72, relate tenths and decimals. The I can statement, or the goal for this lesson, is I can record tenths as fractions and as decimals. Alright, write the fraction and the decimal that are shown by the point on the number line. Step 1, count the number of equal parts of the whole shown on the number line. There are 10 equal parts. This tells you that the number line shows tenths, right? So let's just verify that. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, 10 equal parts. Step 2, label the number line with the missing fractions. What fraction is shown by the point on the number line? So here they go back and they label it, right? We have 1 tenth, 2 tenths, 3 tenths, 4 tenths, 5 tenths was already there, 6 tenths, 7 tenths, 8 tenths was the point, 9 tenths, and 10 tenths. The fraction shown by the point on the number line is 8 over 10, or 8 tenths. Step 3, label the number line with the missing decimals. What decimal is shown by the point on the number line? And right here we see that it's shown by 0.8, 8 tenths. The decimal shown by the point on the number line is 0.8 or 8 tenths. So the fraction and decimal shown by the point on the number line are 8 over 10, 8 tenths, and 0.8, 8 tenths. So these are equivalent. These are equal amounts. And we've already done a lot with converting between decimals and fractions. So this is really just showing you how to do it on a number line. Okay, now we're going to do some problems. So for number 1, they want us to show that point on the number line by rewriting it as a fraction and a decimal. So we're going to do the same thing they did. I'm going to put 1 tenths here. First though, let me check to make sure that I have 10 equal parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, so there's 1 tenth, 2 tenths, 3 tenths, 4 tenths, 5 tenths, 6 tenths, 7 tenths, 8 tenths, 9 tenths, and 10 tenths. Alright, so this point is 3 tenths. That's how you write it as a fraction. Now we're going to rewrite these all as decimals. So 0.0, right, because there's nothing there. 0.1, and 1 in the tenths. 2.3, 4, 0.5, 6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9, and this would be 1.0. That's one whole number and 0 tenths. All right, so if we rewrote this point as a fraction and decimal, it would be 3 tenths as 3 over 10 and 0.3 as 3 tenths. Let's do number 2. Take a second. What do you think number 2 is? All right, let's do the fractions on top. We have 1 tenth, 2 tenths, 3 tenths, 4 tenths, 5 tenths, 6 tenths, 7 tenths, 8 tenths, 9 tenths. All right, and if we were going to rewrite 7 tenths as a decimal, we would put a 0 and a 7 in the tenths column. Nice and simple, just like we practiced the other day. That's how we would rewrite those two. And last but not least, this would be, if that's 5, then we have 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 tenths. To rewrite that, that would be 0.9. 9 tenths. Great, so we did a lot of work with this last week, so you should feel really comfortable converting between fractions and decimals. But now we're going to do it a little bit differently, throwing in some mixed numbers. So number 4 we should be familiar with. So to convert this to a decimal, we need 0 whole numbers, point. Now we have a 4 tenths, so we have to put a 4 in the tenths, and we're good. 0.4. Nice and simple. This is where it gets tricky. Here we have 3 and 6 tenths. So remember, this 3 could really be rewritten as, now you don't have to do this if you're solving this. I just want to show you this for a reference. 10 over 10, 10 over 10. That 3 really can be rewritten as 10 over 10 plus 10 over 10 plus 10 over 10, and then plus 6 tenths. That's what that 3 represents. All right, so we have 3 whole numbers, so we're going to put that on the left side of the dot, or the decimal. And now we have, so you would say 3 and 6 tenths. So now we have a 6 in the tenths. So there we have it, 3 and 6 tenths. All right, let's do number 7. How about we pause the video here? Try and solve number 7 on your own. All right, what'd you get? So we have 7 whole numbers, 7, right? And now remember, this could be 10 over 10 plus 10 over 10. I'm just showing you this because this is a good skill to reinforce. Plus 10 over 10 plus 10 over 10 plus 10 over 10 plus 10 over 10. So then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then plus 3 tenths, right? So now we have 7 whole numbers and 3 tenths, so a 3 in the tenths. 7.3, or 7 and 3 tenths. Now my question for you that I want you to bring tomorrow to the meeting, does this number change? Does the value of this change if I add a 0? If it was 7 and 30 hundredths? Or what if I added another 0? Or another 0? Is the value of this changing? We're going to talk about that at our meeting. What do you think? Okay, please fill out the Google form. When you're done, submit it. You do not have to submit your scrap paper in any form. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Beck. We have all enjoyed tonight's program, and we hope you did too. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, write in complete sentences and submit your work on Google Docs. Thank you. Good night.